Mr. Lawrence, Mr. Haywood, Miss Sherwood, Miss Applewhite, Mr. Fillmore. Everyone else, if you're in the building, this is your 10-minute call. Please come to set. Golly, you scared the daylights out of me. Do you know where everyone is?
I get paid to make noise. I don't get paid to babysit the talent. The blizzard looks pretty bad out there. They probably aren't coming.
Not coming? Well, we'll lose the station if we don't do well tonight. Plus, the whole studio is already full. Freddie usually deals with the audiences. Hey, folks. Thanks for making it out this fine Christmas Eve. Looks like you didn't let the blizzard stop you. I'm sure actors will be here any minute. I'm sure of it. Just hold tight.
It's really coming down out there.
Yeah.
Frozen solid.
I'm so excited.
Oh yeah. Took us a while. Got stuck in the blizzard. Yeah.
It's very cold outside. I'm so happy I'm here.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi. Here you go.
I'm frozen solid, believe me.
Here's your script. Oh, thank you. Here's your script.
What do they know?
How are you?
Oh, thank goodness I thought you all weren't going to make it out. Oh, 4 minutes to air. Places, everyone, places.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a live broadcast of IPC's Playhouse of the Air. We thank you for braving the weather this Christmas Eve, and you'll be glad you did when you hear the story we have for you tonight. It's a Wonderful Life. Very good. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this evening's program is being broadcast live from coast to coast, and our listeners are counting on your reactions as a part of their listening experience. So don't be shy and feel free to applaud, laugh, swoon, or cry just as loudly as the spear moves. I'm getting the signal from our stage manager that we will be going live on the air in just less than 2 minutes, which allows me just enough time to introduce you to the fine acting ensemble who will be performing this evening's entertainment. You know him from Chick Carter, Boy Detective, and Cowpoke Romance, playing George Bailey, the hero of tonight's story, Mr. Jake Lawrence.
Hello everyone.
Just returned from Los Angeles, having completed filming Dottie Goes Bananas, a Technicolor spectacle, as his leading lady, Mary Hatch Bailey, we bring you Miss Ohio 1943, Miss Sally Applewhite. IPC's Playhouse of the Air listeners have heard our next little lady in roles ranging from Mother Cabrini to Salome and playing small-town gal Violet Bick and others in this evening's story. I give you Miss Lana Sherwood. Soon to be seen co-starring with Margaret Dumont in Paramount Pictures' new comedy, The Hick Chick, and playing Clarence the Angel and others in this evening's show, here's Mr. Harry Jasbo Haywood. And let's give a warm welcome to our other actors who are regular performers for our station or taking on their debut performances tonight. And finally, host of Females Are Fabulous, and here with you every week on Playhouse of the Air, I'm Freddie Fillmore. We will be on the air in 20 seconds. Thank you all for coming this evening and enjoy the broadcast.
We are live in 5, 4, 3. In New York City.
This is IPC Playhouse of the Air. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, young and old and new. Greetings from IPC Studio A in Manhattan, New York, right here in the US of A. I'm your host, Freddie Fillmore, and it is my pleasure to bring you your favorite stories this and every week on IPC's Playhouse of the Air. Tonight, we bring you a real feel-good heartwarmer perfect for this or any Christmas Eve. It's a Wonderful Life. We begin our story in the little town of Bedford Falls, New York, US of A, where a number of people in the town are praying for their dear friend, a typical American dreamer named George Bailey.
Dear God, please look over my husband,
George is a good boy. You knew that. My son has always gone out of his way to give others a hand. Now it's him who needs the help.
My big brother George. He's done so much for us all, more for me than I can remember.
I can remember all the times he would stay late after work and not ask a cent. The world needs more like George
Bailey never thinks about himself. I wouldn't have a roof over my head.
If it wasn't for him, I would have given up long ago. All I think about is myself. I must have taken the last cent he had.
And no sense of ambition and business. That George Bailey, just like his father. None of the Baileys were ever businessmen. It's his own fault if he wasn't prepared for
At times like these, I can't help but think it's all my fault. Help him, Father. It's me who's been putting him through all of this. Something's the matter with Daddy.
Should we pray for him, Mommy?
Yes, Suzu, pray. Pray very hard.
The voices carry heavenward, and Joseph, the superintendent of angels, summons Clarence, an apprentice angel.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes, Clarence. A man down on Earth needs our help.
Splendid. Is he sick?
No, worse. He's discouraged. At exactly 10:45 p.m. tonight, Earth's time, a man will be thinking seriously of throwing away God's greatest gift.
Oh, dear, his life. Then I've only an hour's dress. What are they wearing now?
You shall get acquainted with George Bailey in that hour.
Sir, if I should accomplish this mission, might I perhaps win my wings? I've been waiting over 200 years now, and people are beginning to talk.
What's that book you've got there?
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, sir. I was reading it when you sent for me.
Oh, fine. Excellent. Well, you do a good job with George Bailey, and we'll see about your wings.
Thank you.
Now, if you're going to help George, you will want to know a little something about him. Look, see the town?
Why, yes, a young group of boys sledding down a snow-covered hill onto the ice. This is amazing.
Yippee!
Who's that?
That's your problem, George Bailey.
A boy?
That's him when he was 12, back in 1919. Something happens here you'll have to remember later on.
And here comes the scare baby, my kid brother, Harry Bailey.
I'm not scared.
Come on, Harry. Attaboy, Harry.
Yeah, come on, get him.
Yeah.
Yippee! Help! Help! Oh dear, Harry's fallen through the ice.
I'm coming, Harry. Make a chain, fellas, a chain.
So his brother fell through the ice, but George saved him.
Yes, Clarence, and ever since George has had a bad ear.
Bad
All the
ear.
ice water, you understand.
Bad ear, yes, sir.
The other event came a few months later. George took an after-school job at Old Man Gower's drugstore.
It's me, Mr. Gower, George Bailey.
You're late.
Yes, sir.
Hello, George. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Violet.
2 cents worth of shoelaces, Violet?
Mary was here first.
I'm still thinking.
Shoelaces?
Please, Georgie. I like him.
You like every boy.
What's wrong with that?
Here you are.
Bye, Georgie. See you later, Mary.
Made up your mind yet, Mary?
I'll take chocolate.
With coconuts?
I don't like coconuts.
You don't like coconuts? Say, brainless, don't you know where coconuts come from? Looky here, from Tahiti, the Fiji Islands, the Coral Sea.
What's that you've got there? A new magazine? I never saw it before.
Of course you've never. Only us explorers can get it. I've been nominated for the membership in the National Geographic Society. Let me get your ice cream.
Is this the ear you can't hear on? George Bailey, I love you till the day I die.
I'm going out exploring someday. You watch.
George!
Yes, sir?
George! You're not paid to be a canary?
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, George.
Goodbye, Mary.
Oh, what was that piece of paper George just picked up?
It's a telegram for Mr. Gower. He found out this morning that his son died of influenza.
Oh, awful.
Yes, and he spent the afternoon drowning his grief in whiskey.
Mr. Gower, do you want something? Anything?
No,
Anything I can do back here?
no,
I'll get them, sir. What's this bottle, Mr. Gower?
never mind that. Take these capsules over to Mrs. Bentley's.
Yes, sir. They have the diphtheria there, haven't they, sir? Is it a charge, sir?
Yes, charged.
Mr. Gower, I think.
Get going.
Yes, sir. Mr. Gower?
What is it?
Mr. Gower, that bottle you used, you put something wrong in those capsules.
Who do you think you're talking to?
You're hurting my sore ear.
Did you hear what I said? Get out of here.
Mr. Gower, you don't know what you're doing. I know you put something wrong in those capsules. I know you're unhappy. You got that telegram and you're upset. It wasn't your fault, Mr. Gower. But look, Mr. Gower, look, this bottle you used, the bottle to make up the capsules, it's poison.
Poison?
Don't hit my sore ear again.
Poison? Oh, George.
All I wanted was to make sure, Mr. Gower, I won't tell anyone. I know what you're feeling. I won't ever tell a soul. I hope to die won't.
Oh, George.
Did he ever tell anyone about those pills?
Not a soul.
Did he ever marry the girl? Did he ever go
We'll
exploring?
get there soon enough, Clarence. When George Bailey grew up, he wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't the money. So he worked for 4 years in the Building and Loan Association.
Building and Loan Association.
George's father was in the building and loan business. George, along with George's uncle Billy.
George, what's the combination to the safe? We wrote it down so you wouldn't forget it. That's right. Where? In your wallet, Uncle Billy. Oh, thanks.
Lovable fellow, just forgetful, that's all.
Who's that?
That's Henry F. Potter, the richest and meanest man in the county.
Peter, Potter's here.
Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey. There's nothing quite so loathsome as a family business. Now, Peter, you know why I'm here. I'm on a very tight schedule. A family to evict at 3.
Okay then, Mr. Potter, here's just the thing. I need a little more time. Just 30 short days and I'll dig up $5,000 somehow.
Have you put any real pressure on those people of yours to pay their mortgages?
Times are hard. A lot of these people are out of work.
Then for clothes.
I can't do that. These families have children.
They're not my children.
But they're somebody's children, Mr. Potter.
Are you running a charity ward here? Not with my money.
Mr. Potter, what makes you such a hot-skulled character? You have no family, no children. You can't begin to spend all the money you've got.
So I suppose I should give it to miserable failures like you and that idiot brother of yours to spend it for me?
He's not a failure. You can't say that about my father.
George.
You're not. You're the biggest man in town.
All right, son, thanks. I'll talk to you tonight.
Don't let him say that about you, Pop.
Tonight.
What kind of business are you running here? Good gosh, man.
George worked for his father, saving enough to see him through the university. That summer, though he was going to Europe, George got a job on a cattle boat. He was ready to do a little traveling before college. Old Man Gower surprised him with a gift of a great big suitcase. On the way home from the store, he ran into his old friends, Ernie, the cab driver, and Bert, the cop.
Hey, Ernie.
Hiya, George.
Hi, Bert.
Hey, George, what's the suitcase for?
I'm a rich tourist today. How about driving me home in style?
Sure, Your Highness. Open the cabin for the carriage trade I puts on my hat.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bailey.
Hello.
Looks like you're ready to get out of here.
Hello, Violet. Hey, you look good. That's some dress you got on there.
Oh, this old thing? Well, I only wear it when I don't care how I look. See you later.
Want to come for a drive, Bert? We'll show you the town.
No, thanks. I think I go home and see what the wife's doing.
Family man.
George saved enough money to go away to college. His bags were packed, and he was set to go.
Boy, oh boy. It's hard to realize it's the last night in the Bailey boarding house.
We're sure gonna miss you, George.
I'm gonna miss you too, Pop. What's the matter? You look tired.
Oh, had another tussle with old Henry Potter today.
Oh.
I thought when we put him on the board of directors, he would ease up on us.
I wonder what's eating that old money-grubbing buzzard anyway.
Oh, he's a sick man, frustrated and sick. Sick in his mind, sick in his soul if he has one. Hates anybody that has anything he can't have. Hates us mostly, I guess.
Hey, George, can I borrow some of your tuxedo studs?
Yeah, help yourself, Harry.
Well, where are they? In your suitcase?
I'm not taking a tuxedo on a cattle boat, you know.
Say, where did you find that fine piece of luggage anyway?
Ah, Mr. Gower, a going-away present. And one of these days, you're going to see that bag all covered with traveling labels. Italy, Baghdad.
Hey, why don't you come to the dance tonight?
What, and be bored to death?
Well, you couldn't want a better death. Lots of pretty girls. Here, I gotta hurry.
I wish we could send Harry to college with you.
Well, we have that all figured out. You see, Harry will take my job at the building and loan, work there for 4 years, and then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
Well, no younger than I was.
You were born older, George. Suppose you've decided what you're going to do when you get out of college?
Oh, well, you know, what I've always talked about. Building things, design new buildings, plan modern cities.
Still after the first million before you're 30, huh?
Oh, no. I'll settle for half of that in cash.
Of course it's just a hope, but you wouldn't consider coming back to the building and loan, would you? I know it's early to talk about it.
I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in that shabby little office. I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that remark. But this business of nickels and dimes and spending all your life trying to figure out how to save 3 cents on a length of pipe, I'd go crazy. I want to do something big, something important.
You know, George, I feel that in a small way, we are doing something important. Satisfying the fundamental urge. It's not too much for a man to want his own roof and walls and fireplace, and we're helping him get those things in our shabby little office.
I know, Dad. I wish I felt, but I've been hoarding pennies like a miser in order to... Most of my friends have already finished college. I feel like if I don't get away, I'll bust.
Yes, you're right, boy. This town is no place to live unless you ain't willing to crawl to Potter. You get yourself an education, and then get out of here.
I'm glad you see what I'm talking about. Say, I think I'm gonna head down to Old Main Street. Last night in town and all.
Have a good time, son.
Who's that?
Why, that's Violet Bick.
The little girl from the candy counter?
That's right.
Hello, Georgie Porgy.
Hello, Vi.
What gives?
Oh, nothing.
Where are you going?
Oh, I'll probably end up at the library.
Georgie, don't you ever get tired of just reading about things?
Yes. What are you doing tonight?
Not a thing.
Are you game, Vi? What do you say we make a night of it?
Oh, I love it, Georgie. What'll we do?
Let's go out in the fields and take up our shoes and walk in the grass.
Huh?
And then we can go up to Stewart Lake. It's beautiful up there in the moonlight. And we can swim. Then we can climb Mount Bedford and smell the pines and watch the sunrise against the peaks. And we can stay up there the whole night. And everybody will be talking. And there will be a terrific scandal.
George, have you gone crazy? Walk in the grass in my bare feet? Why, it's 10 miles up to Mount Bedford. You think just because you... Ugh.
Oh, okay, just forget about the whole thing.
Forget about what, George?
Ah, nothing, Sam.
Hey, you remember Mary, don't you?
Hi, George.
Hi, Mary.
Say, you wouldn't mind walking Mary home, would you, George?
Of course not. Is that okay with you, Mary?
Fine by me.
Great, thanks.
So George walked Mary home. Is that important?
I should say it is, because even though Mary lived 4 blocks away, it took them 2 hours to get there.
Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight, come out tonight. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? And dance by the light of the moon. Hot dog, oh boy, just like an organ.
Beautiful.
You know something? If it wasn't me talking, I'd say you were the prettiest girl in town.
Why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will. Hey, look where we are.
Oh, the old Granville house.
Yeah, I gotta throw a rock.
Oh, no, don't. I love that old house.
Well, no. Don't you know about deserted houses? You make a wish, and then you throw a rock.
But, George, it's such a lovely old place. I wish I lived there.
In there? I wouldn't live there if I was a ghost. Now watch this. How about it? Pretty good shot, huh? Broke a window.
What's your wish, George?
Well, not just one wish, Mary. A whole hatful. I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet, and I'm gonna see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. And then I'm gonna come back here and go to college and see what they know. And then I'm gonna build things. I'm gonna build airfields. I'm gonna build skyscrapers 100 stories high. I'm gonna build bridges a mile long. And then I'm gonna... Hey, what? Are you gonna throw a rock too? Hey, that's pretty good. What'd you wish for, Mary?
Oh, no. If I tell you, it may not come true.
Hey, Mary, come on. What do you want, huh? You want the moon? All you gotta do is just say the word now.
Okay, the moon. I'll take it. And then what?
And then what? I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down. Then you could swallow it. It'll dissolve, see? And the moonbeams will shoot out of your fingers and your toes and the ends of your hair and... Am I talking too much?
Yes, why don't you just kiss her instead of talking her to death?
Who's that?
Old man Cullen's on his front porch.
Aw, youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Hey, hold on, mister. Come back out here and I'll show you some kissing that'll put hair back on your head. You come back out here and...
George!
Uncle Billy?
George, get in the car quick. Your father had a stroke.
I'm sorry. I've got to go, Mary.
George's father died that night, Clarence, so of course, George could not go to Europe. But that fall, just as he was ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan held a meeting. They were going to appoint a successor.
Well, now.
I want the board to know that George gave up his trip to Europe to help straighten things out here these past few months, and it was greatly appreciated. I think that's all we'll need for you, George. I think that's all we'll need you for, George. Good luck to you at school. I know you're anxious to make the train.
Yes, I have a taxi waiting downstairs.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to get to my real purpose. I claim this institution is not necessary to this town. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to dissolve the building and loan and turn its assets and liabilities over to the receiver.
What?
Now, wait a minute.
It's too soon after Peter Bailey's death to discuss chloroforming the building and loan. It was his faith and devotion that we are responsible for this organization.
I'll go further than that. I'll say that to the public, Peter Bailey was the building and loan.
Oh, that's fine, Potter, coming from you, considering that you probably drove him to his grave.
Peter Bailey was not a businessman. That's what killed him. Oh, I don't mean any disrespect. God rest his soul. He was a man of high ideas, so-called. But ideas without common sense can ruin this town. What does that get us? A lazy, discontented rabble instead of a thrifty working class. And all because a few starry-eyed dreamers, like Peter Bailey, stir them up and fill their heads with a lot of impossible hooey. Now
Just a minute. Hold on, Mr. Potter. You're right when you say my father was no businessman. I know that. Why he ever started this cheap, penny-ante building and loan, I'll never know. But neither you nor anybody else can say anything against his character. Because his whole life was, why, in the 25 years since he and Uncle Billy started this thing, he never once thought of himself. Isn't that right, Uncle Billy?
You got that right.
He didn't save enough money to send Harry to school, let alone me. But he did help a few people get out of your slums, Mr. Potter. And what's wrong with that? Why, here, you're all businessmen. Doesn't it make them better citizens? Doesn't it make them better customers? You said, what did you say a minute ago? That they had to wait and save their money before they could even think of buying a decent home? Wait for what? Until their children grow up and leave them? Until they're so old and broken down that... Do you know how long it takes a working man to save $5,000? Just remember this, Mr. Potter, that this rabble you're talking about, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him, but to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. Well, in my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book. I'm talking about the building and loan.
I know very well what you're talking about. You're talking about something you can't get your fingers on, and it's galling you. That's what you're talking about. Well, I've said too much. You're the board here. You do what you want with this thing. Just one more thing, though. This town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place to come without crawling to Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy.
Sentimental hogwash. I want my motion.
Oh, they're just coming out of the board meeting. I'll have to call you back. What happened, George? All we heard was a lot of yelling.
Boy, oh boy, Matilda, you should have heard George.
Yeah, they're voting us down in there.
George, get out of here. You missed your boat trip. Do you want to miss college too? They're putting us... Don't worry about the board. They're putting us out of business. So what? I can get another job. I'm only 55.
You're 58.
George, they voted Potter down. We're still in business.
Whoopee, we're still in business. We're still in business.
But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
Appoint me? But I'm going to college. Uncle Billy here. He's your man.
You can keep him on. That's all right.
Now, let's get one thing straight. I'm leaving now. I'm going to school. This is my last chance.
But, George, you've got to take it. They'll vote with Potter otherwise.
So, George Bailey didn't go to college.
That's right, Clarence. He gave his college money to his brother, Harry, and Harry went instead.
But what happened to the girl, Mary?
Oh, George saw her now and then, but not very often, though, because she did go away to school. Anyway, George waited 4 more years for Harry to come back and take over the building and loan. Then he could still see the world. He planned to work in the oil fields of Venezuela.
There she blows. Say, Uncle Billy, you know what the 3 most wonderful sounds on earth are?
Breakfast is served, lunch is served, and dinner is served.
No. Anchor chains, plane motors, and train whistles. Hey, here's the scholar now.
Well, if it isn't George Geographic Explorer Bailey. Uncle Billy, you haven't changed a bit. Nobody ever changes around here, you know that.
Oh, am I glad to see you.
Say, where's Mother?
She's home cooking the fatted calf. Come on, let's go.
Oh, wait. This is Ruth Dinkin.
Ruth Dinkin Bailey, if you don't mind.
Huh? Well, I wired you I had a surprise. Here she is. Meet the wife. Well, what do you know? Wife.
Well, how do you do? Well, what am I doing? Congratulations, congratulations. Harry, why didn't you tell somebody? And what's a pretty girl like you doing marrying this two-headed brother of mine?
Well, I'll tell you, it's purely mercenary. My father offered him a job.
Oh, he gets you and a job? Harry's cup runneth over. Come on, Ruth. Let's head home and leave the bags for the fellas.
All right.
George, about that job. Ruth spoke at a turn. I never said I'd take it. You've been holding the bag here for 4 years, and well, I won't let you down.
It's all right, Harry, it's all right.
And that night, the homecoming for Harry became his wedding party. Uncle Billy familiarized himself with the spirits.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I feel so good I could spit in Potter's eye. I think I will. Maybe I should go home if you just point me in the right direction.
Right down there.
That way, huh? Okay, old building and loan pal. See you later. I'm all right.
George?
Yeah, I'm out here on the porch, Mother. Just thought I'd get some air.
Well, how do you like the new sister-in-law?
Oh, she's swell.
Looks like she'll keep hair on his toes.
Yeah, keep him out of Bedford Falls anyway.
George, do you know that Mary Hatch is back from school?
Yeah.
Nice girl, Mary.
Uh-huh.
Oh, stop grumbling. Give me one good reason you shouldn't call on Mary.
Well, Sam Wainwright. Sam's crazy about her.
Well, she is not crazy about him.
Well, how do you know that? Did you discuss it with her?
Besides, Sam is away in New York, and you're here in Bedford Falls.
And all's fair in love and war?
I don't know about war.
All right, Mother. I'll go out and find the girl and do a little passionate necking.
Oh, George.
Bye, Mrs. Bailey. By the way, do you want any books at the library?
The library? George, you go and see Mary, you hear?
Hello, George.
Hello, Mary. Just happened to be passing by.
Your mother just phoned and said you were on your way over to pay me a visit.
My mother just called you. Well, how did she know?
Well,
I didn't tell anybody. I just went for a walk and happened to be passing by. Went for a walk, that's all. When did you get back?
Tuesday. Would you like to come in?
Well, I guess, since I'm already here. Say, where'd you get that dress?
Do you like it?
It's all right. I thought you'd go back to New York with Sam and Francie and the rest of them.
Oh, I worked there a couple of vacations, but I don't know. I guess I was homesick.
Homesick? For Bedford Falls?
Yes, and my family and, everything. Would you like to sit down?
All right, for a minute. I still can't understand it, though. You know, I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Would you rather leave?
No. I don't want to be rude.
It was nice about Harry and Ruth, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's all right.
Don't you like her?
Well, of course I like her. She's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general you're not enthusiastic about, huh?
No. Marriage is okay for Harry and Sam Wainwright and you.
George, look. I sketched up a little something. Remember outside of the Granville house? George lassos the moon.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Mary? Who's down there with you?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What does he want?
I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Not a thing. I just came in to get warm.
He's confessing his desperate, undying love to me, Mother.
You tell him to go right back home, and don't you leave the house. Sam Wainwright promised to call you from New York tonight.
Your mother need to... You know I didn't come here to...
What did you come here for?
I don't know. You tell me. You're supposed to be with the one with all the answers. You tell me.
Oh, why don't you go home?
That's where I'm going. I don't know why I came here in the first place.
Mary, the telephone. It's Sam.
I'll get it. Hee-haw. Hello, Sam. How are you?
Aw, great. Gee, it's good to hear your voice again.
Oh, well, that's awfully sweet of you, Sam. There's an old friend of yours here, George Bailey.
You mean old Mossback George?
Yes, old Mossback George.
Hee-haw, put him on.
I'll call him. George!
He doesn't want to speak to George, you ridiculous girl.
He does so. He asked for him. George, Sam wants to speak to you.
Hello, Sam.
Hey, a fine pal you are. What are you trying to do, steal my girl?
What do you mean? Nobody's trying to steal your girl.
No, wait a minute. I want to talk to both of you. Tell Mary to get on the extension.
Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
We can both hear you. George, just put your head a little closer.
Okay.
There, that's better. We're listening, Sam.
I have a big deal coming up that's going to make us all rich. George, remember that night at Martini's bar when you told me about making plastics out of soybeans?
Huh? Yeah. Soybeans, yeah.
Well, my father's checked into it, George. See, now he's going to build a factory outside of Rochester. How do you like that?
Rochester? Well, why Rochester?
Well, why not? Can you think of anything better?
I don't know. Why not right here in Bedford Falls? You remember that old Tool and Machinery Works? You tell your father he can get that for a song. And all the labor he wants, too. Half the town was thrown out of work when they closed down.
That's so. Well, I'll tell him. Hey, that sounds great. Oh boy, I knew you'd come through. Now, here's the point, George. I may have a job for you. That is, unless you're still married to the old broken down building and loan. Oh, Mary?
I'm here.
You tell that guy I'm giving him a chance of a lifetime, you hear?
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Give me that phone. Now you listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics and I don't want any job. And I don't want to get married ever to anyone. You understand that? I want to do what I want to do. And you're not going to... Oh, Mary.
George.
Oh, Mary, I love you.
George, I love you too.
We will return to IPC's Playhouse of the Airs presentation of It's a Wonderful Life in just a few moments. But first...
You know what's wrong with kids these days?
Too much hair gel.
Yes. But also, it's the lack of education. I mean, if we keep going down this path of poor schooling, in 100 years, people won't know how to draw a map, or who Confucius is, or the root words of our language, or how to shine a light on issues that matter.
Good point.
That's why we're here to tell you about Classical Conversations, a homeschool program that equips your child from kindergarten to 12th grade with a real quality education that builds knowledge, understanding, and character.
Well, fantastic.
I'll say. It's a truly wonderful way to connect with like-minded families, feel supported in your schooling journey, and set your student up for success. Again, that's Classical Conversations. Check out locations near you.
And now, a word to our live studio audience. Please take a few moments to enjoy our refreshments in the back for a cash donation of any size. Your donations help fund IPC. Go ahead, what are you waiting for? Feel free to chat, or you can enjoy our carols. You have about 10 minutes to be back in your seats, and now while you get some snacks, or perhaps a hot cup of cocoa, either here in the studio or at home, we'll entertain you with a few carols conveying our warmest wishes to carry you through this cold evening.
Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la.
cocktails and plates. Repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness and wonders of his love and wonders of his love and wonders, wonders of his love.
And now, live studio audience, please find your seats because we're back to It's a Wonderful Life. Where's my eyes?
George and Mary were married, and following the wedding and reception, George's old pal, Ernie, the cab driver, drove the happy couple to the train station.
Hey, where are you two going on this here honeymoon?
We're gonna shoot the works, Ernie. A whole week in New York, a whole week in Bermuda. The highest hotels, the oldest champagne, the richest caviar, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
Here's the best part, Ernie. $2,000. I feel like a bootlegger's wife.
Huh, so you're finally getting out of bed for those, huh? Then what?
Then what, honey?
After that, who cares?
That does it. Hey, Mrs. Bailey, I haven't kissed you
Hey,
since...
George, there's something funny going on over there. Look, over there by the bank. It looks like a run.
Huh? Pull over there a minute, will you, Ernie?
George, let's not stop. Please, let's go straight to the station.
Now, wait a minute. I better see what it is. I'll be right back.
George, please. George.
Give
Hey,
me
give
my
my
money,
money.
you
I want money. Give me my
What is
back.
this, Uncle Billy, a holiday? Why are the doors locked? There's a crowd out front.
This is a pickle, George.
All right, now what happened?
All I know is that the bank called her loan. I had to hand out all of our cash.
All of it?
Every last cent of it.
Holy mackerel.
And then I got scared, George, and I closed the doors.
Our charter says that we need to stay open until 6 o'clock or we'll lose our license.
Bailey Brother Building...
Hey, George.
George, it's Potter.
Hello?
George, there's a rumor around town that you've closed your doors. Is that true?
No, it isn't.
Do you need any police? Mobs get pretty ugly sometimes, you know.
We're fine.
We'll see. Now, George, I'm going all out to help you in this crisis. I've just guaranteed the bank sufficient funds to meet their needs. They'll close for a week, then reopen. I may lose a fortune, but I'm willing to guarantee your people too. Just tell them to bring their shares over here, and I will pay 50 cents on the dollar.
Ah, you don't miss a trick, do you, Potter? Well, you're gonna miss this one.
If you close your doors before 6 p.m., you will never reopen.
You just took over the bank, Billy. Open the doors, let them in.
Give me my money.
Now,
I
just
want
remember
money.
that this thing ain't as bad as it appears. I have some news for you folks. I've just talked to Old Man Potter, and he's guaranteed cash payments at the bank.
How about our money, George? Where's our money?
Now, please, wait a minute. Listen to me. You're thinking of this place all wrong. The money's not here.
No,
What?
Now, wait a minute. Let me tell you. Your money's in people's houses. In the Kennedy house, in the McLaren house, and in your house, and 100 others. Now, what are you going to do? Foreclose on them?
I got $242 in here, and $242 isn't going to break anybody.
All right, Charlie, all right. Now, you'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
Well, now, that's what you agreed to when you bought your shares.
I've got my money. Old man Potter's taking over the bank, and he'll pay 50 cents on every dollar.
I'm going to.
Now, wait a minute, please, folks. Please don't leave. I beg of you not to do this. If Potter gets a hold of your shares, he'll be owning the building and loan. He's got the bank, he's got the bus line, and he's got the department stores. And now he's after us, because he wants to keep you living in his shacks and paying the kind of rent he decides to charge. Now, we can get through this, all right? But we got to stick together. We have to have faith in each other.
My husband's out of work. We need money.
I've got doctor bills to pay.
Can't feed my kids with faith.
How much do you need? We've still got some money from the wedding. We've got $2,000.
Hey, Mary, I got $2,000 here. This will tide us over until the bank reopens. All right, Charlie, how much do you need?
$242.
Ah, Charlie, just enough to tide you over
I'll
until the bank.
take $242.
Okay. Uncle Billy, give Charlie $242. Okay, all right. Now, Ed, how much just to get by?
$20, I suppose.
Now we're talking. Now, Mrs. Thompson, how about you?
But it's your own money, George.
Never mind that. How much do you want, Mrs. Thompson?
Could I have $17.50?
Bless your heart. Of course you can have it. Uncle Billy, give her $17.50. Pay it back when you can. Now, pay it back when you can. All right. Who's next?
Look at the clock. Look.
5 seconds. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. 6 o'clock. We made it. Lock that door, Uncle Billy. Boy, we're still in business, and we even got $2 left.
Bailey Brother Building, and just a minute. George, there's a call for you.
Now, will you get my wife on the phone? She's probably over at her mother's.
Mrs. Bailey is on the phone.
I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want my wife. Oh, Mrs. Bailey, that is my wife. Mary? Hello, listen, dear, I'm sorry. What? Come home? What home? 320 Sycamore. Well, whose home is that? The Waldorf Hotel, huh?
That doesn't look like the Waldorf.
Oh, no. Number 320 Sycamore was the old Granville house. The one George and Mary threw rocks at and made wishes. Mary had purchased the house and prepared a turkey dinner and framed her sketch of George lassos the moon.
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey.
Well, I'll be.
Remember the night we broke the windows in this old house? This is what I wished for.
Darling, you're wonderful.
Yes, sir, that's where they started their lives together. Mary made the leaky old house a home while George toiled away at the building and loan office, providing houses for people like Giuseppe Martini.
Hey, Martini, you renting a new house?
Rent? Huh, you hear that, Mr. Bailey? I own this house. Me, Giuseppe Martini. I own my own house. No more we live like pigs in a potter's field.
We have something for you and your family, Mr. Martini. George and I bring something for all the new owners.
Further Martinis, Maria, come quick. Our first housewarming gifts. Bring in the kids.
Bread, so that this house may never know hunger. Salt, that life may always have flavor.
And wine, that joy and prosperity may reign forever. Enter the Martini Castle.
Bailey houses were popping up all over the place, mostly owned by people who used to live in Potter's Fields. And Potter had just about enough of that, so after a couple of years, Old Man Potter decided to call George into his office.
Sit down, George. Sit down. Have a cigar?
Thank you, sir. Quite a cigar, Mr. Potter.
You like it? I'll send you a box.
Well, I suppose I'll find out sooner or later, but just what exactly do you want to see me about?
George, now that's just what I like about you, George. I'm an old man, and most people hate me. But I don't like them either, so that makes it all even. You know just as well as I do that I, for a number of years, and that I run practically everything in this town. But the Bailey Building and Loan. You know that also, for a number of years, I've been trying to get hold of it. Or kill it. But you've been stopping me, George, and that takes some doing. In fact, you've beaten me, George. Take during the Depression. You and I were the only ones who kept our heads. You saved the building and loan, and I saved the rest.
Yes, well, most people say you stole all the rest.
The immiest ones say that, George. The suckers. Now, let's look at your side. Young man, 27, 28, married, making, say, 40 a year.
45 a week.
45, yeah. Now, if you were some ordinary yokel, I would say you were doing fine. But George Bailey is ambitious. He's been dying to get out of this town since the day he was born. And he hates the building and loan almost as much as I do. A young man, the smartest one in the crowd, mind you, who has to sit by and watch his friends go places because he's trapped. Trapped into frittering his life away, playing nursemaid to a lot of garlic eaters. Do I paint a correct picture or not?
What's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point is that you're the only man in town who's licked me. I want to hire you, manage my affairs. I'll start you at $20,000 a year.
$20,000 a year?
You wouldn't mind living in the nicest house in town, buying your wife a lot of fine clothes, a couple of business trips a year, maybe once in a while Europe? You wouldn't mind that, would you, George?
Would I? You're not talking to somebody else around here, are you? Are you sure you're talking to me? I'm George Bailey, don't you remember me? The building and loan, remember?
Yes, George Bailey, whose ship has just come in, providing he has the brains to climb aboard.
Well, what about the building and loan?
Oh, confound it, man. I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Is it a deal or isn't it?
Mr. Potter, I know I ought to jump at the chance, but I wonder if you might give me 24 hours to think about it.
Sure. Go home and talk to your wife.
Yeah, I'd like that.
In the meantime, I'll draw up the papers, and soon you'll be managing my affairs.
Your affairs? No. The answer's no, doggone it. You sit around here and you spin your little webs and you think the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't, Mr. Potter. In the whole vast configuration of things, I'd say you were nothing but a scurvy little spider.
What did Mr. Potter want, George?
Nothing. Just talk. Ah, gee, Mary Hatch, why in the world would you ever marry a guy like me anyway?
To keep from being an old maid.
I was going to see the world. I was going to build things. I was going to give you the moon. What have I given you? What have I given you? Not a new dress, not for months. You could have married Sam Wainwright, anybody else in town.
I didn't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look like you.
You didn't even have a honeymoon. I promised you... Your what?
My baby.
You mean, Mary, you're on the nest?
George Bailey, Lasso's stork.
Well, Mary had her baby, a boy.
You don't say.
Then she had a girl.
Well, what do you know?
Night after night, George would come home late from the office. Things weren't going good at the building and loan. Potter was really bearing down hard. Then came the war. Mary had another baby by then, but still had time to run the USO. Gower and Uncle Billy sold war bonds. Violet sang for the troops. Bert the cop was wounded in North Africa, got the Silver Star. Ernie the taxi driver parachuted into France. Harry Bailey topped them all. A Navy flyer shot down 15 planes, 2 of them as they were about to crash into transports full of soldiers.
Yes, but George. What about George?
George, for F on account of his ear, George fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. Air wardens, paper drives, scrap drives, rubber drives. On VE Day, he wept and prayed, On VJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
We're getting pretty close to today, sir, aren't we?
Yes, Clarence, you know almost everything you need to know about George Bailey, except what happened that finds him down there at this moment wanting to die.
Well, sir, well,
Well, today is the day before Christmas, and Billy is at the bank making a deposit when he runs into Old Man Potter.
Well, well, well. Mr. Henry F. Potter, come to the bank to deposit some more loot, huh?
Sure, you old fool.
How do you like the news in the paper? Mr. Potter, Harry Bailey wins Congressional Medal of Honor. Just can't keep those Bailey boys down now, can you?
Let me see that paper.
Here you go. Sorry I can't chat with you, old thief. Gotta make a deposit.
Good morning, Mr. Bailey.
Good morning, Horace. Here you are, deposit slip, bank book, and a very Merry Christmas to you.
You two. Say, you've forgotten something, haven't you?
What's that?
You want to make a deposit?
Well, certainly.
Well, it's customary to bring the money with you.
It's gone. Where did I put it? Where did I put that money?
A terrible thing, Clarence, terrible. Uncle Billy couldn't find the money because the envelope with $8,000 was folded up in the newspaper he gave to Old Man Potter. At the same time as Billy started looking for the deposit, Violet came to visit George at the building and loan.
Oh, hello, Vi.
Suppose you're getting things set back at the house for the party tonight?
You know you're invited. What's wrong?
You see right through me, don't you?
How much do you need?
Oh, I hate doing this to you, George, but I won't be asking for any more after this.
You planning on robbing a bank, Vi?
I'm going to Manhattan.
Well, what's in Manhattan?
Why, everything's in Manhattan. A new start, at least.
That's a big step, Vi. What's the matter with starting a new life right here in Bedford Falls?
Well, I'll be. Never thought I'd hear that from you, George Bailey. I thought you hated this place.
I did, but this town has a charm of its own.
You should give tours, maybe.
I'm just thinking of you, Violet. Manhattan's a big place to take on all on your own.
I've made a decision. There's a midnight train tonight, and I plan to be on it.
Takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start all over again. Here's some dough.
No, George, don't.
What, do you want to sell your fur coats and that hat? Want to walk to New York? You know they charge for meals up there, just the same as they do right here in Bedford Falls.
Yeah, sure.
It's a loan. That's my business, building a loan. Besides, you'll get a job. Good luck to you.
I'm glad I know you, George Bailey.
Say hello to New York for me, will you?
Merry Christmas, George.
George.
Uncle Billy, what's going on? The bank examiner's coming today, and
Today?
Yeah, wants the accounts payable.
The money, the 8,000,
Uncle Billy, what happened to it?
I don't know. I was going to deposit it, and when I went to the bank, I didn't have it.
$8,000, Uncle Billy. The bank examiner's in town, and that's not our money. It belongs to the depositors.
I'm so sorry, George. I just don't know what happened.
Well, the first place you need to look is in your coat pocket. I told you to put it there when you left.
Oh, I'm no good to you, George. I'm no good.
Let's go, then. We need to retrace your steps. We'll leave no stone unturned.
And as George and Billy went looking for the deposit, Potter held a meeting with the state bank examiner, Miss Sadie Vance.
The whole town's turned upside down with the Bailey boys' homecoming. Congressional medal and all.
I guess they do things like that.
May I look at your paper?
Go ahead.
This is a deposit from Bailey.
That old fool Billy Bailey gave me that newspaper.
Well, you're going to deposit it for him, right, Potter?
To think you would make such a foolish mistake. Look at how much it is.
There's $8,000 here.
What a Christmas present. And he doesn't even know it.
Just a minute here, Potter. I know you've been giving the Baileys a hard time far back as I can remember. Why?
I don't give answers to you. You're just a state examiner.
Yes, I am. but I am unimpressed by your buying off everyone in town. Oh, that's it. You can never buy the Baileys.
What?
You heard what I said. The Baileys have always stood for something you've always wanted and are so jealous of. They're honest.
You're fired.
You can't fire me. I'm state appointed. And what's more, I am not going to turn my back. This is stealing from the Baileys. Something like this would certainly cause them to fold.
Yes, and after 25 years, finders keepers. You know that. He gave me the money. It's his own fault. Besides, there's not a court in the country and county, maybe just county, that would find me guilty.
And we all know why.
How's your family, Sadie?
My family?
I know how little state positions pay. What would you say to a little Christmas bonus?
I want no part of this.
That's not what I've heard.
What are you insinuating, Potter?
I will not be turned down.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to pay the Baileys a surprise visit. You'll see the records. They'll be short. You know the rest. At last, the Baileys will be where they belong. Down for good.
I know just what to do.
And did you put the envelope in your pocket?
Yeah, maybe.
Uncle Billy, we've got to find that money.
I'm no good to you, George.
Do you have any secret hiding place here in the house?
I've gone over the whole house, even the rooms that have been locked up ever since I lost your Aunt Laura.
Listen to me, think.
I can't think anymore, George. It hurts.
Where's that money, you stupid old fool? Do you realize what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal and prison. One of us is going to jail, and it's not going to be me.
Hello, darling.
Hello, Daddy.
Dad!
Daddy, did you bring home the wreath?
What wreath?
The Merry Christmas wreath for the window.
I left it at the office.
Is it snowing?
Yeah, it just started.
Where's your coat and hat?
I left them at the office.
What's the matter?
Nothing's the matter. Everything's all right.
Isn't it wonderful about Harry? We're famous, George. I'll bet I had 50 calls today about the parade, the banquet. Your mother's so excited she just can't stop.
Must she keep playing that?
I have to practice for the party tonight, Daddy.
Mommy says we can stay up till midnight and sing Christmas carols.
Can you sing, Daddy?
Better hurry and shave, George. The families will be here soon.
Families? I don't want the families over here.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Have a hectic day?
Yeah, oh yeah. Another big red letter day for the Baileys.
Daddy, the Browns next door have a new car. You should see it.
Well, what's the matter with our new car? Isn't it good enough for you?
Yes, Daddy.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Excuse you for what?
I burped.
All right, darling. You're excused. Now go upstairs and see what little Zuzu wants.
What's the matter with Zuzu?
Oh, she got a cold. Caught it coming home from school. They gave her a flower for a prize, and she didn't want to crush it, so she didn't button up her coat.
What is it, a sore throat?
The doctor says it's nothing serious.
Well, is the doctor here?
I called him right away.
Is she running a temperature?
Just a teensy one.
Gosh, it's this old house. I don't know why we don't all have pneumonia, this drafty old barn. Might as well be a refrigerator. Why do we have to live here in the first place and stay around this measly, crummy old town?
George, what's wrong?
Wrong. Everything's wrong. You call this a happy family? Why do we have to have all these kids?
Dad, how do you throw frankincense?
I don't know. Ask your mother.
Where are you going?
Up to see Zuzu.
Hi, Daddy.
Well, what happened to you?
I want a flower.
Where do you think you're going?
I want to give my flower a drink.
Here, give Daddy the flower and I'll give it a drink.
Look, Daddy, some of the petals came off. Paste it.
Yeah, all right. Now, paste this together. There it is, good as new.
Give the flower a drink.
Now, will you do something for me?
What?
Will you try and get some sleep?
But I'm not sleepy. I want to look at my flower.
I know, but just go to sleep. And then you can dream about it. And it'll be a whole garden.
It will?
Yep.
Telephone! I'll get it. Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welsh. The doctor says she'll be out of bed in time for her Christmas dinner.
Is that Zuzu's teacher?
Yes.
Let me speak to her. Hello? Mrs. Welch, this is George Bailey. Say, what kind of teacher are you anyway? What do you mean sending her home like that, half naked?
George.
Is this the sort of thing we pay taxes for? To have teachers like you? silly, stupid, careless people who send their kids home without any clothes on. Hey!
Hello, Mrs. Welsh. I want to apologize. Hello? Hello?
Well, if she...
Now, who do you think you are?
Wait a minute. Hello? Who is this? Oh, Mr. Welch. Okay, Mr. Welch. Gives me a chance to tell you what I really think of your wife.
George.
Will you get out of there and let me handle this? Hello? Oh, you will, huh? Okay, Mr. Welch. Anytime you think you're man enough to... Hello?
Daddy, how do you spell hallelujah?
What do you think I am, a dictionary? Janie, haven't you learned that silly tune yet? You played it over and over again. Now stop it, stop it!
George, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, Mary. Janie, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... You go on and play. Pete, I owe you an apology, too. I'm sorry. What did you want to know?
Nothing, Daddy.
Well, what's the matter with everybody? Janie, go on. I told you to practice. Now go on and play.
Oh, Dad.
George, why must you torture the children? Why don't you...
Mary...
Where's Daddy going?
Bedford 247, please.
Is Daddy in trouble?
Yes, Pete.
Shall I pray for him?
Yes, Janie. Pray very hard.
Me too?
You too, Tommy. Hello, Uncle Billy?
So that's it, George? You're short $8,000 in the books, eh?
Oh, please, Mr. Potter. I'll pay any sort of interest. If you still want the building alone...
You say it was lost. Did you notify the police?
No, sir. We haven't done that yet. Harry's homecoming tomorrow and everything.
Why do you come to me? Why not your good friend, Sam Wainwright?
I can't get a hold of him. He's in Europe.
What kind of security would I have, George? What collateral?
I have some life insurance, a $15,000 policy.
How much is your equity in it?
$500.
And you want 8,000? Look at you. You used to be so cocky. You were gonna go out and conquer the world. You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. What are you but a warped, frustrated younger man? Crawling in here on your hands and knees for help. No securities. No stocks, no bonds. You're worth more dead than alive. Why don't you go to the riffraff you love so much and ask them for help?
I'll do anything, Mr. Potter. Please. Please help me. My wife and kids.
You know what I'm going to do for you? As a stockholder of your building loan, I'm calling the state examiner to get a warrant for your arrest. Misappropriation of funds.
Mr. Potter, please. You can't. They can't arrest me.
Malfeasance. Go on and run. You can't hide in a little town like this. Merry Christmas, George.
What will George do next? Tune in after this. And now, more from our sponsors.
Is your rice stand thin? Do you have problems with Bacchanae? Give James Sliger Rice Seed a call for your next year's rice seed. With many varieties available, we are sure to have one to meet your needs. We make sure all the equipment that has and handles our seed, from aeroplanes that fly on it, to the combines that harvest it, to the trailers that transport it, is clean and free of contamination. And our rice seed will always have a strong germination, giving you lush and strong stand establishment. So remember, next time you're looking for rice seed, call James Sliger Rice Seed at 868-1107. That is 868-1107.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha ha ha, bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon as Fancy Bright was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lank, misfortune seemed his lot. We got into a drifted bank and then we got upset. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha ha ha, bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
And now the dramatic conclusion of It's a Wonderful Life. Merry Christmas, glad you come.
How about some of that good spaghetti?
We got everything.
Where's George, sir? Where?
After running out of Potter's office, George ended up at Martini's bar. He had a couple of drinks, Clarence. He's just sitting there now.
What's he saying? Who is he?
God, dear Father in heaven, I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there and you can hear me, show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope. Show me the way, God.
Are you all right, George? Want someone to take you home?
Why you drinking so much, my friend? You don't feel good. Please go home, Mr. Bailey.
Bailey? You say Bailey? Which Bailey?
This gentleman is Mr. Bailey, George Bailey.
George Bailey, huh? And the next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll get worse. This isn't enough. She slaves teaching your stupid kids how to read and write, but you have to fall her
You get out of here, Mr. Welch. You hit my best friend. You get out.
All right.
Mr. Bailey, you okay?
Who was that?
Mr. Welch, but don't worry. He don't come in this place no more. I'll get something for your face. It's a bleeding.
I'm all right.
Please, don't go away, Mr. Bailey. Please, don't.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
George is headed to the bridge now, Clarence. Can you see him?
He looks like he's going to jump.
It's time, Clarence.
Excuse me, you there? Have you got the time?
My watch is dead.
Thanks, just the same. Help me, I can't swim.
Oh, hold it, mister, I'm coming.
What in Sam Hill are you two doing? This storm's not fit for man or beast. Now get out of that water. Are you two all right? Do you need a doctor?
I'm all right.
No, I'm fine this underclothes. I didn't have time to get anything stylish. My wife gave me this on my last birthday. I passed away in it.
Passed away?
Oh, I see Tom Sawyer is drying up too.
Who?
My book. I left in such a hurry. I brought Tom Sawyer with me. You should read the new book Mark Twain is working on now.
How'd you happen to fall in?
Oh, I jumped in. I jumped in to save you.
You jumped in to save me?
Well, I did, didn't I? You didn't go through with it, did you?
Go through with what?
Suicide.
It's against the law to commit suicide around here.
Yeah, it's against the law where I come from, too.
Where do you come from?
Heaven.
What?
I had to act quickly. That's why I jumped in. I knew if I were drowning, you would try to save me. And you see, you did. That's how I saved you.
Oh, that's very funny.
Your lip's bleeding, George.
Yeah, I got busted in the jaw in answer to a prayer.
Oh, no, George. I'm the answer to your prayer.
How do you know my name?
Oh, I know all about you. I've watched you grow up from a little boy.
What are you, a mind reader or something?
Oh, no.
Well, who are you then?
Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
Oddbody. AS2? What's that AS2?
Angel second class.
Hey, I'm getting out of here. You may not need a doctor, but I do.
Cheerio, my good man.
Hey, look here. Why'd you want to save me?
Because I'm your guardian angel.
Oh, I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Ridiculous of you to think of killing yourself for money. $8,000.
Things like that. How do you know that?
I told you I'm your guardian angel. I know everything about you.
Well, you look like the kind of angel I'd get. Sort of a fallen angel, aren't you? What happened to your wings?
I haven't won my wings yet. That's why I'm an angel second class.
Oh, I see.
But you can help me earn them, George, by letting me help you.
You don't happen to have $8,000 on you, do you?
No, we don't use money in heaven.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I keep forgetting. Comes in pretty handy down here, bub.
Oh, tut.
Found that out a little too late. I'm worth more dead than alive.
Now, look, you mustn't say things like that. I won't get my wings with that attitude. You just don't know all that you've done. If it hadn't been for you...
Yeah, if it hadn't been for me, everybody would be a lot better off. My wife, my kids, my friends.
This isn't going to be easy.
They'd all be better if I hadn't been born.
What'd you say?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
George, that's wonderful.
Wonderful.
The idea you just gave me. Well, you've got your wish. You've never been born.
Never been born?
Exactly. No worries. No $8,000 to get nothing. You simply don't exist.
Hey, wait a minute. This ear of mine. Say something else in that ear.
You don't have a bad ear anymore. Don't you see? You're not the George Bailey you think you are. You're nobody.
Well, that's the doggonest thing.
Your lips stopped bleeding too, George.
What do you know about that? Hey, what happened? I need a drink. That's what I need. What about you, Angel? Do you want a drink?
Well, I don't know.
Come on. We'll go as soon as our clothes are dry.
Our clothes are dry.
Hey, so they are. That's funny. That stove's hotter than I thought. Well, look, let's get dressed and stroll over to Martini's. Oh, excuse me, I'll stroll, you fly.
I haven't got my wings.
You haven't got your wings. Yeah, that's right. A couple of drinks and we'll both fly. There's a place to sit down. Here, sit down. Hello, Nick. Clarence, welcome to the best bar in Bedford Falls.
Bedford Falls? Don't you mean Potterville?
Pottersville? Where's Martini?
Look, I'm the boss. You want a drink or don't you?
Okay, all right. Double bourbon, quick, huh?
All right. What's yours, bub?
I was just thinking of mulled wine.
Huh?
Heavy on the cinnamon, light on the cloves. Off with you, my lad, and be lively now.
Hey, look, mister, we serve hard drinks in here for men who want to get drunk fast, and we don't need any characters around here to give the joint atmosphere.
Now, come on here. Just give him the same as I ordered. He's okay.
2 double bourbon.
What about this place? It's all changed.
All of Bedford Falls has changed. You're having your wish, George. You've never been born. Oh, there will be lots of things you've never seen before. Oh, good. Somebody's just made it.
Made what?
Every time you hear a bell ring, it means some angel's just got his wings.
What did you say?
Look, Clarence, I don't think you'd better talk about angels around here.
Don't they believe in angels?
Yeah, they believe in them, but, it's just...
Well, then why should they be surprised when they see one?
Huh?
Don't mind him, Nick. He just never grew up. How old are you anyway, Clarence?
293. Next May.
That does it. Out you two loonies, go through the door or out the window. Go on, get.
Where's Martini? Will you tell him that...
Stop asking about Martini. He ain't here. Well. Look who crawled in from whatever hole he's been hiding.
Hey, it's Mr. Gower.
Hey, you rummy, didn't I tell you never to come panhandling around here?
Mr. Gower, this is George Bailey. Don't you remember me?
Will you buy me a drink, mister? Just one drink, mister?
Binky, throw the rummy out.
You got it.
Oh, no, please.
Hey, Nick, isn't that Mr. Gower, the druggist?
That rumhead spent 20 years in jail for poisoning some kid. If you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself. Binky, here's 2 more. Get him out of here.
You got it, boss.
Let me help you up. The snow is quite cold.
What's wrong with Mr. Gower?
Mr. Gower doesn't know you, George. You see, George, you weren't there to stop Mr. Gower from putting that poison into that prescription.
What do you mean I wasn't there? What are you, a hypnotist? Why am I seeing all these strange things here?
Don't you understand? It's because you were never born.
And if I wasn't born, who am I?
You're nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean, no identity? My name's George Bailey.
There is no George Bailey. You have no papers, no cards, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
Zuzu's petals.
What?
Zuzu's petals. My little girl. Some petals fell off her flower. I told her I'd fix it and stuck them in my pocket. But they're gone too. Everything's gone.
But you've been given a great gift, George. The chance to see what the world would be like if you had never been born.
You're crazy. You're crazy as a bedbug, and you're driving me crazy too. Now look, I'm going home to my wife and family. Do you understand that? And I'm going home alone.
You know the drill. Hands behind your back, sister.
Get your hands off me! Why would you bust somebody else for a change?
Hey, officer. Where did the building and loan move to?
The building and what?
The Bailey Building and Loan. It was up right here.
They went out of business years ago.
Not so fast, Copper. I knew Potter.
Hey, Violet. Hey, listen, I know that girl.
Oh, I know.
That's Violet Bick.
Oh, I know. Who doesn't? Now get out of our way.
Taxi. Hey, Ernie, take me home. I'm going crazy.
Where do you live?
Doggone it, Ernie. Don't you start pulling that stuff. You know where I live, 320 Sycamore. Now hurry up.
Okay. 320 Sycamore?
Yeah, hurry up. Zuzu's sick.
All right.
Look here, Ernie, straighten me out here. I've got some bad liquor or something. Listen to me. Now, you're Ernie Bishop, and you live in Bailey Park with your wife and kid, right?
You seen my wife?
Seen your wife? I've been to your house 100 times.
Look, Bud, what's the idea? I live in a shack in Pottersfield, and my wife ran away 3 years ago and took the kid. And I ain't never seen you before in my life.
Okay, just step on it. Just get me home.
Is this the place?
Of course it's the place.
Well, this house ain't been lived in for 20 years.
Mary, I'm home. Pete, Tommy, Janie, Zuzu, where are you?
They're not here, George. You have no children.
Where are they, Clarence? What have you done with them?
All right, put your hands up.
What is this?
No fast moves. Come out here, both of you.
Bert, thanks heavens you're here, Bert. Bert, what's happened to this house? Where's Mary? Where's my kids?
Watch him, Bert.
Come on. I'm going to take you down to the station.
Bert, now listen to me, Bert. It's that fellow there. He says he's an angel. He's tried to hypnotize me.
Don't make me use my baton.
Bert, I hate to do this, but...
Run, George, run, George.
Clarence! Ma Bailey's boarding house.
Well?
Mother?
Mother? What do you want?
Mother, this is George. I thought sure you'd remember me.
George who? If you're looking for a room, there's no vacancy.
Oh, Mother, please. Please try to understand. Something's happened to me. I don't know what it is, but I need a place to stay. Please let me stay here.
I don't take in strangers.
I'm not a stranger. I know everybody you know. Your brother-in-law, Uncle Billy.
You know him?
Well, sure I do.
When did you see him last?
Today, over at his house.
That's a lie. He's been in the insane asylum ever since he lost his business. And if you ask me, that's where you belong.
I'm here again, George.
My mother. My own mother didn't even know me.
Strange, isn't it? One man's life touches so many others, and when he isn't around, he leaves a pretty big hole, doesn't he?
Look, you. I've heard things like this before. You've got me under some kind of spell. Well, I'm going to get out of it. I've got to. I know I talked to Uncle Billy this afternoon. How can he be in an asylum? I've got to snap out of this. Now let me think. Bailey Park.
There is no Bailey Park if you aren't here to build it.
We'll see.
This is Bailey Park. People live here. Pretty grim.
Well, this is where Bailey Park is supposed to be. What's this gravestone doing here? And why is the name Bailey on it?
That wouldn't be yours.
My father's name is on it, but what's this other name? Why is my brother Harry's name here?
Your brother broke through the ice and drowned at the age of 9.
That's a lie. Harry Bailey went to war. He got the Congressional Medal of Honor. He saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died. Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry. You see, George, you really had a wonderful life. Don't you see what a mistake it would be to throw it all away?
What do I do now, Clarence? What do I do?
It's your life, George.
What happened to Mary, Clarence?
Mary?
My wife, Mary. What happened to her if I was never born?
I'm not supposed to tell you, George.
I don't know how you know the things you do, but please, if you know where she is, just let me see her.
Very well, George, but you're not going to like it.
Where is she, Clarence?
She's an old maid, George.
Where is she?
She's just about to close up the library. There must be some easier way to earn my wings.
Is the library closed?
It's Christmas Eve. We can't stay open all night.
Can I ask you something?
I should really be getting home.
What is there to go home to?
That is none of your business, sir. The library is closed. Maybe you should try back on the 26th.
Mary, I'm sorry.
How do you know my name?
All I need is a couple of minutes.
I told you, the library is closed.
Please, just 2 minutes. That's all I need. I'll do anything.
You sound desperate. I'll help if I can. What is it?
Isn't this town Bedford Falls?
It used to be, but that was some time ago. I wasn't very old when Potter was elected and took the town along with its name for himself.
So you do know a place called Bedford Falls?
I've seen pictures. It looked like a nice place. Things have changed, but that's with the times. I have to go.
Mary Hatch, you lived on Reed Street, a white Victorian. Your bedroom is at the top of the stairs. You turn left. You have an older brother, Marty, and you live with your mother, Edwina.
How do you know all this? What are you, some crazy man? Stop it, I'm leaving.
Don't you know me, Mary? Just let me touch you.
Get your hands off of me, I'll call a cop.
The house you wished for. Don't you remember?
I told you, I don't know you. Let me go.
Don't
Officer.
you know me? You must. Mary, it's George. It's me, George.
Let me go.
Mary, please. Oh, don't do this to me. Mary, help me. Where are our kids?
What?
I need you, Mary. Help me, Mary.
Get away from me. Help. Police.
Mary, it's George. It's me, George. Please, Mary. You're my wife.
Ah!
Clarence. Clarence, where are you? Help me, Clarence. Get me back. I don't care what happens to me. Just get me back to my wife and kids. Help me, Clarence. Please. Please. I want to live again. I want to live again. Please. Oh, God, please let me live again.
George, is that you, George?
Now get out of here, Bert. Get out of here. You come any closer and I'll hit you again.
What in the Sam hell are you yelling for, George?
Come on. George? George. Bert, do you know me?
Know you. I've been looking all over town for you. Where have you been?
Hey, Bert. Bert, I'm alive again, Bert.
You sure you're all right? Hey, your mouth's bleeding.
It is? Hey, my mouth's bleeding. Bert, look at the blood coming out of there. What do you... Zuzu's petals. Zuzu's petals. Here they are. What do you know about that? Merry Christmas, Bert.
Well, Merry Christmas. Get in the car. I'll drive you home.
You will, Bert? We'll do that and turn the siren on wide open. Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. Merry Christmas, you wonderful old building and loan. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. Yippee! Mary, I'm home. Have you seen my wife? Hey, what is this, these people? These reporters? Hey, Merry Christmas, reporters.
Mr. Bailey, there's a deficit.
Oh, I know, $8,000, I bet, huh?
I've got a little paper here.
I'll bet it's a warrant for my arrest, isn't it, Sheriff? Isn't it wonderful? Merry Christmas. Hey, where's Mary, do you know? Oh, look at this wonderful drafty house. Isn't it wonderful? Where's Mary?
Merry Christmas, Daddy.
Kids, Pete, Tommy, Janie, Zuzu, I could eat you up. Where's your mother?
She went looking for you with Uncle Billy.
Daddy!
Zuzu, my little ginger snap, how do you feel?
Fine, Daddy. Not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge? Hallelujah.
George, darling.
It's Mommy.
Mary.
Home. George, where have you been? Oh, George.
Oh, Mary, let me touch you. Oh, you're real. You have no idea what's happened to me.
You have no idea what's happened either. Come on, George, quick, they're on their way.
Who's on their way? The FBI, the police department, the National Guard? I'm alive again, Mary. Listen, I'm alive.
Come on in here now. Now you stand right over here by the tree. Right here, and don't move, don't move. I hear them now. George, it's a miracle, it's a miracle. Come in, Uncle Billy, everybody, in here. Hello.
Isn't it wonderful, Mary? Mary did it. George, Mary did it. She told a few people that you were in trouble, and they scattered all over town collecting money. They didn't ask any questions, just said, if George is in trouble, you can count on me. You never saw anything like it.
What is this, George? Another run on the bank? Here you are. Merry Christmas. The line phones to the right. Mr. Gower, Merry Christmas. Mr. Martini, step right up now. I busted a jukebox, too.
Mr. Gower.
I made the round of my charged accounts.
Violet Bick.
I'm not going to go, George. I changed my mind.
I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it wasn't for you, George. Here you go, $242.
I've been saving this money for a divorce, if I ever get a husband.
Merry Christmas, George.
Merry Christmas, Mother.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Just a minute. Quiet, everybody. Quiet, quiet. A telegram from London.
Oh, London.
Mr. Gower cables, you need cash. Stop. My office instructed to advance you up to $25,000. Stop. Hee-haw and Merry Christmas. Sam Wainwright.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
Hello, George. How are you?
Harry.
Hi, Harry.
Mary, looks like I got here too late. Mary, I got him here from the airport as quickly as I could. Flew all the way up here in the blizzard.
Harry, what about your banquet in Washington?
Oh, I left right in the middle of it as soon as I got Mary's telegram.
Hey, everybody, how about some wine?
Good idea. A toast to my big brother George, the richest man in town.
Hooray! Should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind?
What's this book, George?
Tom Sawyer.
Look, there's an inscription.
George, remember no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clarence.
What's that?
That's a Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right. Attaboy, Clarence.
Old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind. Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne.
This has been IPC's Playhouse of the Air's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. The IPC Playhouse is brought to you this and every week by our audience's loyal support and our sponsors' kind generosity. Please stay tuned for a program of popular holiday music. This is Freddie Fillmore signing off for IPC in New York City and wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Good night.
For all lang syne, my dear, for all lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for all lang syne.
No, I sad. No, I'm not sad.
Job. That's so great.